I noticed. She just said that if you're going to tell me, she just needs to know that camera until she figured it out and she's going to drop it off since I lives. You don't have to like pay her right now, she just needs to know how much.
Just tell her, Graham.
I am the CPS Punisher, and I stand before you today with a fierce urgency to address the dark realities surrounding Child Protective Services. I would like to let you know that Monday through Friday, I host a roundtable show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, which is in the United States time zones. I say this only because we have teamed up with some very amazing allies across the Atlantic Ocean. They are true spectacles of word warriors standing shoulder to shoulder with us day and night. Speaking out against the injustices they are facing on their soil, they back us up on ours. We are now a worldwide fighters alliance ready to confront these challenges together. We do have the guts for boots on the ground, but right now we are amplifying our voices. We are putting the almighty pen to paper to create a bill that we must get in front of those seeking office in Congress this November. We need people to assist us in getting these documents to their respective persons for review. Sure, we are talking and raising awareness, but now we must take decisive action. Our kids are waiting far too long to be put back in the homes of their true biological God-given parents.
What the fuck is going on here?
When the day begins, your thoughts are of the best intentions. How can you make this day the best it can be? You wonder, what will this day bring? Your family awaits you in the distance, coaxing you to run to them and join them in some early morning shenanigans. This is what families do. Off to the fields to dream of being an airplane pilot or an astronaut. Whatever you want to be, it's your imagination. And it can take you anywhere.
Hey.
No.
Run to the lake to join everyone in a game of tag or hide and seek. Celebrate your victories, dancing around foolishly in celebration antics. Chase down your family at the beach, fling kites, feeling the ocean's breeze hit your face. Being a child is an amazing experience. There are many children who have had this experience taken away from them by CPS. They will never feel the attachment to family the way they should. They are being robbed of life's precious experiences, and people are allowed. As the sun sets slowly, and so many are anticipating the new day with their family, there are so many others laying there wishing that they could be with their own families. This torture needs to be stopped. These children will wake up alone and fight the world by themselves instead of surrounded by the family God gave them. We must abolish CPS and stop neglecting children who once enjoyed living with a family of their own. Studies show we are destroying these children, not helping.
Yeah.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
All right, everybody, welcome to CPS Victims Hunting Justice. I am your host, CPS Punisher, and it is Thursday night. Don't forget, we got the chat over here off to the side that you are more than welcome to participate in. Actually, we urge you to participate in there and get us your comments, your questions, things like that. Excuse me. Think about what you want to talk about, what you don't want to talk about, things of the sort. There we go. And so on. I mean, what do we got going on here? Also at the bottom, guys, any sort of donation would help. That's the Cash App that you can Cash App to on the bottom there. Any sort of anything will help with the funds that it takes to run this thing. I know it doesn't seem like the production is, masqueraded in all kinds of fees and all of this stuff, but it does cost some money to, keep this thing running. So any sort of donations would help, and it is all 100% tax deductible. So that is the truth for that. So it's been how many years since Nancy Schaefer? 15 years? Oh, 15 years, I'd say, right? 15 years since Nancy Schaefer was around, since she was murdered. And what have we seen as far as changes go? We've seen laws enacted that have escalated the speed of how long your kid stays in their services. So no longer is it a timely thing that your kid's in TPR. It's 12 to 15 months, and you get the CPS service gets a fee for keeping getting your kids out and adopted from there. So they've cut down on the time that you get to have to try to reunify. And let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about what reunification really is, right? Reunification is nothing more than a bill system that's built on the American States Family Act, right? Like that's what that's based off of. 72-hour hearing is the most important hearing that you get because that's the one that the judges sign off on. As far as the fact that you actually have a case that it's been ruled on, adjudicated on by a Mickey Mouse judge anyway, and the clock starts ticking. And then you have the 3-month. You got the 3-month hearing that comes after that. Like a jurisdictional and oh my gosh, sorry about this. The judge gets to have a ruling on it, a review. You get to have a review. See, but all of these time frames are contingent on like what's really going on with the case, who's involved in it, what's involved in it, what's the abuse, the neglect, any of that stuff. I'm not, it's just, there's a lot that goes with it, but in the bottom line of things, that 72-hour hearing is very, very, it's all about when they get their money, the times that they can collect their checks. I'm trying to pull it up right here. Let me look up the American Safe Families Act time pay period here. As for pay line. Let's see what that says here. Boom, 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 boom. Pow. All right. The America annual meeting scheduled resorts for Las Vegas. That's not it. Not now. America Safe Family Act. Okay, let's look there first, guys. America Family Act payouts. Let's see here, guys. The Understanding the Adoption and Safe Families Act. All right, let's see here. All right. Congressional Budget Office. Here we go. October 23rd, 2024. Let's take a look here, guys. All right. So the direct spending by fiscal year, millions of dollars. 2025 is $228 million with zero revenues. The increase in the deficit is $228 million. Spending subject to appropriation is $1.6 billion. Increased net direct spending in any of the 4 consecutive 10-year periods is at plus or minus $2.5 billion. Let me pull up this. The screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at here, so you guys understand what I'm talking about here. Here we go. Boom. All right. Now you guys are looking at the same thing that I am. All right. So there you go. Now we're all looking at the same thing. Let's see. Okay. Have here. All right. So we have mandate effects. Contains intergovernmental mandate. No. Contains private sector mandate. No. This bill would reauthorize and amend child welfare programs authorized under Title 4B of the Social Security Act. Increase funding for promoting safe and stable families program by $75 million per year starting in 2026. Requires states to submit a plan to ensure that families receive legal representation during foster care proceedings. Authorize the appropriation of funding for children and family service programs. Require the Department of Health and Human Services to report information to Congress. The budgetary effects would mainly stem from increasing funding for the PSSF program. Spending funds authorized to be appropriated for children and family services programs. Complying with reporting requirements. All right. Let's see here. What do we got here? Table 1. Oh, okay, they want me to download this stuff. Available for congress.gov. All right, here it is, the HR 9076. Summary is in progress. They don't have that for us. Let's take a look here. One motion to suspend the rules and pass the bill. There's nothing there. At the conclusion of this debate, the yeas and nays were demanded and ordered. Pursuant to the provisions of Clause 8, Rule 20, the chair announced that further proceedings on the motion would be postponed. Calendar reported to the Committee on the Ways and Means. Order to the reporting nature of subtitle, window of the yeas and nays, nothing. I don't know, baby. I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? Not here, Mary. All right, there we go. Perfect. So in 7/22/2024 is introduced into the House. So that's where we are with that, guys. This is the www.congress.gov. If you guys check this site out, you got all the bills that are out in front of the Congress and everything that's going on there. That way you can see what's going on. But check it out. They got CRS reports, code, GPO, Law Library of Congress, Guide to Law Online, teacher lessons plans, state legislature websites, bill status things. The list goes on and on. About you can pretty much find whatever you can find in one of these, right here on the site. It's just crazy the information that you have and the information that you have and you are privy to it's crazy because it's all right here for you guys to check out. I just can't believe that nobody, like we're not using these tools to see what the hell is going on out here, guys. I really can't believe it. It's just absolutely crazy, absolutely insane. Okay, Guide to Law Online. Let's go check that one out here. Guide to Law Online. Let's take a look at here. Guide to Law in Educated Nations of the World, United States. Well, okay, United States. We go here. And each one of these here, check this out, guys. So each one of these at the Library of Congress has, I'm going to share this tab, sorry. Here we are. At the Libraries of Congress, guys, we have every law statute, every law in their law books that are made here to, to each state. So it tells you each state, your own rules and regulations, which is in reference to child and welfare rules and the American States Families Act, and hopefully that this guy right here, Mr. Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois. Here we go. So Maine. So when you open these up, you go to there. It'll start with Maine for me here. The introduction. So it's got the Constitution, it's got the executive branch, it's got the judicial branch, it's got the legislative branch, it's got the legal guides, general sources. So there you go. And then that will be all privy to each one of your states. So then you go here, you go to your state's constitution. That's in here. It's got the main constitution, the colonial charters, and so on. You go to the executive branch, okay? Executive branch carries with it its own rules and regulations and so on. And then so on, it goes from there. You got legislative stuff, you got legal guides, and then you have general sources, which obviously you want to be here for the main hoorah and these calls to action walls. But when you are really in here looking, you need to look through your own state's information, because this is where you get everything that's about the rules of your state. Even though the supremacy clause covers everything as far as it goes, it's still nice to be able to go to your state recommended sites, look this stuff up, figure out what's going on in your own state for their rules and regulations, figure out what you need to do to trump everything that you have. So it'll go through here. So you got legal guides. It goes through those. It goes through general sources. Main State Resource Guide, Library of Congress, and then it's got maps, main resources. So as you can see, each state has all kinds of stuff in them. So I definitely recommend that you guys take a good look at that stuff. It's worth its weight in gold, and then some. All right. I don't know where anybody is. I don't know where Benny is or anybody, but I'm sure that they'll either be around or not. Who knows? But don't really matter. All right, let's see what Herbert had up here for tonight. Herbert had some videos that were he wanted me to play here. Okay. All right. So let me see here. Herbert sent me last night. He sent me some. Schools, yes, right. We talked about that one last night. Yep, okay. Walking alone. Yep, we talked about that one, about the woman and the mom talking, the one that let her mom go to the schools. That was great. The next American Idol star. She's by CPS. Okay. Trump uses promise. Point sent. Baby Cyrus. Okay, we've seen that one. We've seen the caseworker there. Yeah. So anything that you guys have, that you want to bring up and talk about, then please do. Let's ask some questions and answers tonight. We haven't really done that in a minute, but if you do have some questions, then it would be cool to do some of those. Let's see here. This is an interesting little video here. Hold on. This is when is it okay to CPS to take kids into your home? And then after this, we're going to go through the TikTok reel. So stay tuned for that too, guys. It's going to be exciting. We'll see what TikTok has to say about everything, and we'll go through there because it's really interesting, the videos that we have on TikTok. But this one here is when can CPS remove a child from your home? So let's check this out.
Hi, my name is Attorney Nicole Christie, and I'm from the Christie Law Firm, and I'm here again to talk to you about DCF. And so I'm a former prosecutor as well as a former DCF worker, and I take all of that knowledge and put it together to help my clients deal with DCF successfully. So in this third installment, I'm going to talk to you about abuse or neglect. And those are definitions that are key in any DCF investigation. That's what the whole point is to determine whether or not a child has been abused or neglected. The issue is when we think of abuse or neglect, most of us think of it as people who don't feed their children, or people who've left their children home alone for weeks on end. That's neglect. Or people who beat their kids and leave severe bruising on them, that's also abuse. And while that is the definition, or part of the definition of abuse and neglect, it's much broader as well. For DCF, they have an entire list of definitions when it comes to abuse and neglect, and we'll include that in the links below so that you understand that when they come out, they can be looking at a broad range of areas that fall under neglect, and a broad range of areas that fall under abuse. So for example, for neglect, DCF could be coming out to investigate emotional neglect, which typically comes from a parent who is constantly berating the child or exposing that child to violence or things that a child should not be seeing. There's also medical neglect, where a child has not gone to the doctor on a regular basis, where a child hasn't been seen with the dentist. Moral neglect, exposing your child to perhaps child pornography or other kinds of things that really would corrupt the morals of a child before they've even had time to have them corrupted on their own. Or physical neglect, which is not just leaving them home alone or leaving them in the car unattended, but it could be concerns of domestic violence where kids are exposed to that. They're right there in the middle of it. They could be hurt when the fighting is happening between the individuals. So there is a broad range. As well as when it comes to abuse, it's also sexual abuse, sexual molestation, in terms of the abuse in and of itself, along with physical abuse. And physical abuse, you have to understand, is when the child has an injury that's inconsistent with the explanation given. So you are allowed to physically discipline your child within reason. However, if you've left a bruise on the child, and say the child has a handprint on their face and your explanation is they ran into the door, that's going to be a concern for DCF. So understand that whenever a child has an injury and it's inconsistent with the explanation given, that in and of itself could be considered physical abuse. So the key points that I want you to take away from this particular video is that abuse and neglect is a very broad, we have very broad definitions, and you can't think of it in the terms that we normally would think of it. When DCF is going out, they're thinking about all of the definitions and see if the facts fit any of those definitions. And so since the definitions are so broad, it is not hard for DCF to find abuse or neglect if there are enough facts. And so what you have to understand is that if they do find abuse and neglect, it can impact your family in the long term, and that is what we'll be talking about in upcoming videos. And so it's important to understand what has been substantiated against you, what was the finding, if there was a finding, and make sure you get that in writing. And so until next time, we want you to, again, subscribe to our channel, share this with others, leave a comment. If you have some questions about DCF that I haven't touched upon, we'll definitely take that into consideration and make sure we create videos around answering those questions. So until next time, take care and make sure you keep your family first.
All right, so those are different levels of the abuse and neglect explained by them, but then you also need to take into consideration that not all of those things are for what they are. Like in the state of Maine, for instance, domestic violence, when seen in front of a child, doesn't always mean that that's a sign of abuse and neglect. There are some cases that say that in their own rules that a few times of seeing domestic abuse in front of the child is not exactly abuse or neglect. So you need to make sure that you take it up with the rules of your state and make sure that you those are the guidelines. So if your kid's like Debbie's up here saying that she's got, her child has had bruises on him. Well, Debbie, we all know that your grandson also has issue with his health that causes him to bruise easily. So in this situation, you need to make sure that it would be known that your grandson is, I don't know what his diagnosis is as of now, but I'm assuming that it's got to be, if they've allowed him to get the testing he needs and everything, that it's going to be one of those things that he bruises easily. Like if he bumps into the wall, he'll get a bruise. There's all kinds of medical conditions that lead you to these types of situations that might not mean that it's abuse or neglect. So it's not all clear and dry what situations. And this is what your fight is when you go to that substantiation fight. I know that they say that you should pass that hearing because it's a difference in the way that they can gauge your guilt. So it's a preponderance amount of evidence, which is hearsay to like a very certain degree, which is not very much of a degree at all of hearsay. You want to be a little bit weary in paying attention to what causes those areas to get a check mark in your paperwork. That's what the curiosity is here for me. Just always make sure that you are in tune with your state's government and how they react and what they react from. I don't know what to change. So, like I said, make sure that you guys check out all of that stuff. Use those websites that I just showed you. The congress.gov one, that will give you each state. Another good website is the Child Information Gateway. Child Welfare Information Gateway site. That's a great site to show you all your rules, regulations, and things like that in your own states. That's another good resource to use. Child information that's a good one. Yes, Nicholson versus Scarpetta. That's the one I was looking for, Chris, huh? Was that the one that you were talking about? The one that I was talking about, the Supreme Court and the rules and regulations. Is that the case? Oh no, Nicholson is the domestic violence one. Correct. Right. Sure. Come on in, Chris, if you want to come in and talk about this stuff. But the Nicholson is the domestic violence case, and stating that there are different prongs, that there's different prongs to the level of domestic violence that needed to be met to make it an actual abuse and neglect case. And that's really important thing that's been stuffed away for a while now. And it's not to be spoken of in a lot of places, but there's in true it's fact that in Nicholson it puts down a guideline of what domestic violence in front of a child makes it an abuse and neglect situation, and there's not very many that actually cause that when you're dealing in the domestic violence situation, at least to be taking the kid away from the mother, because in most of these cases, if there is a fight between the mom and the dad, or the mom and the boyfriend, or the mom and whoever, the boyfriend or the mom or the boyfriend or the dad or whoever is usually removed. So how is it that the child is still left in danger when the mom has already remained calm, took care of the situation, and got rid of the abuser out of the house? So tell me, how is the mom going to be in the wrong now? She shouldn't be. I mean, she's not only did she have to give up her love and everything, but she also had to, give up. They had to give up a lot. So how they're still considered to be in danger, I have no idea. And it makes me so angry that so many women are losing their kids to this domestic violence standard that is not, in fact, true and right. And the Supreme Court has ruled differently on this, and it makes me sick to my stomach, and it twists me up because we all know that it's very easily under the DV clause and the DV, the standard that they go by to find them all guilty. It's no good. It's no good. So if you guys are having that situation go on in your house, make sure you check out the Nicholson case. All right, Chris said she was going to come in here and join with us for a second. I don't see her yet. So for now, I'm going to open up some TikTok. Wait. For Chris to come inside. Yeah. Here we go. Yes. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. CPS. Let's call it CPS laws. Let's look up that. See what we got on TikTok today, guys. All right, we got plenty of stuff here. So, without any further avail, let's take a peek at what's going on here in the CPS world. Let's show some TikTok. All right, let's start. Here we go.
This is how you defeat CPS when they make false allegations against you in order to kidnap your children. All right? So what you have to do when they submit their report, their petition or detention report, you have to create an affidavit of truth, an affidavit of rebuttal, and or a declaration. And what this is, it's a sworn statement, because you're going to get it notarized from a public notary, that what you're saying under perjury is the truth, and it's against the opposing side of what they're claiming or alleging against you, which is normally a lie that they make up in order to make you look bad when you appear under the judge. So the judge is supposed to be a neutral person, and then there's your team, and then there's their team. So when they're making an argument against you, you need to make an argument against them and provide proof to the neutral judge of why what they're saying is not factual and what you're saying is the truth. And these documents, after you get them notarized, you have to go to the county clerk and submit these documents. And if the county clerk says, oh, you can't submit these documents because you need a lawyer to submit them, then you go bug your lawyer. You keep bugging them. Did you submit the documents? Did you submit the documents? Did you submit the documents? And keep a paper trail of literally everything. And if they don't submit the documents, when you're in court, sometimes you be feeling that you can't say anything. You make sure you get your turn in court and tell the judge, you've been trying to submit these documents, which is an affidavit that you had notarized, and they haven't been submitted to the court. Because the lawyer's duty is to the court and then to you. And if there's a court-appointed lawyer, do you really think that if his duty's to the court, do you really think that he's going to choose the judge over you? No, he's not. So what you have to do is you have to bug him and keep doing it until those documents are submitted. Unless you went pro se or pro bono, which means you are representing yourself. And then if you ever want any order changed, you need to look into a JV 180 or 388 form, which can change any single order that was made against you. So pretend like your children was taken away, right? And they gave you a case plan of going to parenting classes and counseling and maybe family reunification. You don't ever want to use the word family reunification. That means that they're going to take your child and they're giving you services in order to get your children back. So from the very, very beginning, you need to be talking about family maintenance. Family maintenance is when you already have your child and you're doing services to keep your child.
Ooh, that's kind of interesting one I've never heard before.
And then you're trying to do some stuff in order to get them back. Once they're gone, it's super hard.
Let's re-listen to that here. Let's listen to this again here. Let me check this out. So I've never heard this before.
Family reunification is when they take your child and
Here we go.
And they're giving you services in order to get your children back. So from the very, very beginning, you need to be talking about family maintenance. Family maintenance is when you already have your child and you're doing services to keep your child. Family reunification is when they take your child and then you're trying to do some stuff in order to get them back. Once they're gone, it's super hard to try to get them back. And the more court dates you go to, is the harder it is to get them back. But every single court date you go to, you need to figure out what was alleged against you in the report and make an affidavit or a declaration against it and get it notarized and submit it to the county clerk. Thank you all. Have a blessed day. If you have any questions, just drop a comment.
That was interesting right there. That whole not seeing family reunification. I think he said family maintenance plan. That's pretty.
JV 180 or 388 for taking away, right? And they gave you a case plan of going to parenting classes. Reunification. That means that they're going to take your child and they're giving you services and counseling
Right here.
and maybe family reunification. You don't ever want to use the word family reunification. That means that they're going to take your child and they're giving you services in order to get your children back. So from the very, very beginning, you need to be talking about family maintenance. Family maintenance is when you already have your child and you're doing services to keep your child. Family reunification is when they take your child and then you're trying to do some stuff in order to get them back. Once they're gone, it's super hard.
See what they say about that.
And the more court
About
dates
that
you
one,
go
guys.
to,
I've never heard that
the
before.
harder it is to get them
We
back.
definitely want to check into that. All right, let's see what we got next.
Hello,
Oh,
Talkers.
my
Welcome to
boy.
Law Talk. I want to have a conversation about the secret weapon of CPS. What the real power of CPS is to begin with is that most people are not aware of them. And they don't know what they've done unless you've been affected or someone, a loved one or a friend has been affected. So if the cops come to the door, if you're sitting at home and a police officer comes to your door, everybody gets up. Everybody understands. That's the police. Something's going on. We must address the police. Everybody knows what police officers can do. And everybody gets a bit frightful. However, when a CPS worker comes to a family's home, the family's own innocence may work against them. Parents will say, oh, sure, my kids are there, they're fine, I've done nothing wrong. How can I help you? And that's the biggest mistake you can make. Speaking to CPS workers about anything.
That's right. We talk about that all the
cause them
time.
to open a case against you because when they come into your home, they're looking for a case to be built. They're in the business of either removing children or putting parents into useless services. That's the process in New York City. At the very minimum, they walk into a house and say, give us a drug test. How are you and your husband doing? How are you drinking? They get into, and the call may have been about a dirty diaper because anybody, at least in New York, can call CPS on anybody else. There's no filter at all. I can call right now against you and wouldn't even know. Mm-hmm. So if CPS comes to your door, if somebody
Shut your mouth.
reaches out to you from CPS, it is important to spread this video out. Do not speak to them. And I'll keep saying that. I'll keep making these videos occasionally because it's that important.
That's right.
And
Shut your mouth.
Talk. Hello, Talkers. Welcome to...
If CPS asks you to do a drug test and they have not gotten temporary managing conservatorship of your children, it is important for you to speak with an attorney. The first step you want to take is go and consult with an attorney, hire an attorney and find out what your next move is going to be. You do not want to agree right away to take a drug test because you want to get some time. If you are using some type of substance, you want to consult with your attorney to see how you're going to handle that issue. If CPS asks you to do a drug test and they have not gotten temporary managing conservatorship of your children, it is important for you to
CPS case, listen up. Know your rights.
1. CPS actually can talk to your children without your consent.
It's my good friend right here.
2. But they cannot take your child from you unless they have a warrant, your consent, or facts that indicate that your child is in immediate physical danger. 3. A police officer is not a warrant. 4. CPS can be sued if they violate your civil rights. Violating your civil rights would include them taking your child without a warrant, without your consent, or without any facts indicating that your child is in immediate physical danger.
Right.
So usually they don't try that last third little one, the immediate physical danger, unless it's really, really that. Okay? So do not give them consent to take your child if they do not have a warrant. 5. Your case file is not a secret. Okay? You have a right to have access to all of the reports, all of the information that's being filed in the court in regards to you. Okay? Not a secret.
If you're a parent with a CPS case, listen up. Know your rights.
1.
That's a good friend of mine. She's awesome.
The
All right, here we
allegations,
go.
and I'm going to read them off to you. So it was reported to us that about a week ago, the house that you guys were living in, it was observed to be pretty destroyed. And I talked to you about over the phone how there was feces on the ground. There was a lot of the furniture was ruined. There was a lot of pile of clothes and diapers all over the home.
There was no diapers. That's ridiculous.
And that's pretty much why I'm here to talk to you about it. Kind of get your perspective.
First of all, where do you get the right to talk to my kids?
So
without my consent.
So our agency is able to talk to your children.
For what purpose?
For their safety.
That is a bunch of crap. I am the parent. That is against my parental right to protect my kids. Your organization is known for ripping children apart from their families and sex trafficking them. Factual. You guys probably are so bored because of this whole coronavirus that you guys are just jumping at the gun for any little thing you can. What are your questions? What do you need? What can I do to help you?
So I'm here to pretty much get your perspective on the allegations.
I know the complainant was John Fenton.
So I
don't you think that's a conflict of interest?
So I cannot.
Full disclosure states that you have to tell me who is the complainant.
I cannot. That is confidential. So I cannot agree.
It's John Fenton.
Nor disagree.
That's John Fenton. Don't you think it is hypocritical or a conflict of interest for him to put me in this situation where I'm having to live with my family when I lived in a house for 3 years, no problems?
And I'm sorry that you're going through some housing issues, but that's why I'm here to talk to you about it and get your perspective on the situation. Obviously, when we receive reports, they're not always true. This is on a piece of paper. That's why I'm here to talk to you about it.
Right.
So can we discuss, I guess, what occurred, or I guess why am I getting these allegations that your kids are in a house full of?
They are from a malicious piece of shit from John Fenton, causing me a bunch of problems. And I find this a malicious attack on me, so I'm not too happy to see you. I do not appreciate CPS coming into my life. I will not allow you to rip me and my family apart. I've worked real hard to take care of my kids.
And I don't want, I'm not here to...
I don't want to hear that spiel. That's what you all say. You all take training to say that. I don't want to hear that. Factual proof is that I'm taking care of my kids. There is no abuse. There is no neglect. None. There's no signs of it anywhere. My house was destroyed because I had to move.
So the allegations, and I'm going to read them off to you. So it was reported to us that about a week ago.
3 years.
There we go.
And you said that the renters told you to leave right away, or I guess like.
No, they did not.
Okay, so how much of a notice did they give you?
Because I would not let them in because of Corona. Okay. I did not feel safe of letting anybody in the house because me and my family didn't have Corona, but I didn't know of any of them having Corona. I said they can come in July.
Okay.
They did not like that. So that was in January.
Okay.
So things were pretty much closed back then, or just opening up.
Okay. So in January, what happened in January?
She said, well, they might be selling the house.
Okay.
Speaking in terms of the homeowner, who I have never had any contact with. My only contact has been Scott Garton, who has retired since before we got evicted. Kathy Grass, I don't remember when she took over, but she's when the problem started. When it was Scott, there was no problems. Everything was taken care of. And, you know.
What did Kathy do? I guess that caused an issue.
I don't know. She wanted to come into the house and do an inspection. That caused her problem. She wanted to know why I had so many cars. And I said, it's none of your business.
Was Kathy the owner of the home? Or?
No, she was just a realtor.
Okay. So she was the realtor for him?
No, for Gardens and Associates.
Okay. And she was the one that was going to sell the home?
No, she was just the realtor. She was the one renting. She was the landlord.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The homeowners was a couple in Bend. I don't remember their names. And John Fenton is the new homeowner. I got that in my papers, so you don't have to tell me that. Oh. I got that myself.
So, was there any other inspections, I guess, throughout the time that you guys were living there?
They tried 2 other times, which I wasn't available, and my daughter was home, and they wouldn't do it with my daughter there.
Okay.
So, well, that's state law.
So, and you said you were court-ordered to leave?
But yes, I believe it was, I can't remember the date. I think it was the 30th at 11:59 before the 1st.
Oh, last month?
Oh, of May.
Oh, wait. We are in May.
Yes.
So last year?
No,
or?
This month. Before the 1st of this month.
Oh, okay. You were court-ordered to leave.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We went to court, I think on the 26th of April.
Okay.
Or 20th of April or somewhere around there.
Okay.
25th, somewhere.
Okay. And you said you didn't have time to like.
I didn't have enough time to clean. I had loads and loads and loads. I had the garage. I had to empty out, and it was just a lot of stuff.
Okay. Who was all living with you guys?
Just me and my daughters.
Just you and your daughters. Okay. And I guess like were you the only one that did the laundry? Why did you guys have so many loads of laundry?
That's none of your business. I'm an MMA fighter also. I have lots of workout clothes.
Okay.
My daughter, she's starting to work out, so she needs workout clothes.
Okay.
She's moving, she's gaining in weight and fluctuating weight. They're all kind of gaining and fluctuating weight.
Okay.
So I just haven't had time to go through all my clothes and sort them out.
Okay. Do they have clean clothes now?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Do they do they
brand new
have
clothes?
Water, electricity?
Yes, everything's provided here. I can show you right now.
Okay.
Oh, don't do that, right? Don't. Come on, you don't want to do that.
You can see the walkways and such. Here's running water.
Okay, perfect. And you said your grandma lives here?
Yes.
Okay.
You can go ahead and look in the.
Okay.
It's pretty tidy.
Yeah, it looks clean.
Yeah. Me and my kids, we help out, we clean.
Perfect. Are you guys good here? I mean, do you guys have a plan of how long you guys are gonna stay here?
No, we have a plan worked out with my with the family. We're all pitching in to help me out.
Okay. Okay.
That's private. I don't wish to discuss these.
Okay, no, that's fine. And are you receiving any assistance like through the state, like for food and
I don't see how that matters, but yes, I do. I have food
Nice.
stamps, and I'm on unemployment.
Okay.
I get 782 food stamps, so that well sufficient our food needs.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so yeah, you have money for food. That's good.
we're on OHP for medical.
Okay. When was the last time your kids went to the doctor?
I don't feel the need to disclose that.
Okay. Do they have any medical issues?
No.
No. Okay. Any need for them to be going to the doctor, I guess, besides like their yearly checks?
That's probably my family's concern and none of yours.
Okay. Any dental issues? Any concerns with their dentals?
None.
Okay. Any mental health?
None.
Okay. All right. And you said you're unemployed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're receiving unemployment?
Yes,
okay.
I receive 451 a week.
Okay.
So that's like, that's going to work. So I have enough money to find a house.
Okay.
I'm expecting a big, super big tax return from 2 years plus all the stimuluses. So I'm going to have some money.
Yeah.
My financial security is pretty much good for right now. We're talking upwards. I think one tax return is $10,000 and the other one is $5,000. Plus the second, the third, and the fourth stimuluses will all be caught up at that time.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good chunk. A good chunk to get you going. So the allegations that, and I'm going to read them off to you. So it was reported to us that about a week ago, the house that you guys were living in, it was observed to be...
There's that. Okay, this one.
Hey, Dorothy, you home?
Who is this?
It's Chief Satterfield with Duncan
Yeah.
PD.
What do you need?
Okay.
No,
You
sir, I
open
will
the door?
not.
Okay. Well, I just want to talk to you.
No, sir, I've not opened my door, honey.
Okay.
Because
Why?
I get abused by your officers all the time. No,
Well, I'm the new chief. I wanted to come talk to you.
I don't feel safe.
I'm the new chief. I'm sorry.
I'm not comfortable.
Will you just open the door? You ain't got to come outside.
Why you need to see me? I can see you.
Well, I can't
don't
see
need to
you.
me.
Okay. Well, I mean, I hear you behind the door.
And again, you don't need to see me, honey.
Okay, I just want to talk to you.
Don't touch my door. Don't you dare. Don't you dare try to come in my house.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not going to come in your house. I just want to talk to you. Like I said, I'm the new chief.
Yes, sir. So what would you be willing to talk to me about?
Tell me what happened to you. I'm here to investigate that.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I take that stuff serious.
We can schedule another time.
No, ma'am. I need to talk to
no, well, I'm not dressed right now, no, sir.
you. Okay, well, I'll wait till you get
No,
dressed.
you don't have to wait that long. No. Do you have an email address? What happened to me?
I'm sorry.
Do you have
What's
an
that,
email
ma'am?
address? I can send you what happened to me.
No, ma'am. I'm more of the type to talk in person. You ain't got to come outside. Just open the door so I can see you.
No, I am not. I don't feel safe open the door. I don't feel safe with you.
I mean, I got another officer with me
definitely don't.
that just
Ooh,
got.
I definitely don't do it. Well, no. You broke into my house too many times.
Yeah, I mean-
broke in too many times with your little welfare checks. No, no, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I'm here to. I'm here to make sure you're okay. You got family around here, Dorothy?
What?
You got family
Why?
around here?
Wow.
What now? I mean, have you talked to them? I mean, have they checked on you to make sure
What's
you're
supposed
okay?
to be wrong with me? Here you go. What's supposed to be wrong with me?
All I'm not saying is nothing wrong with it. You talking about welfare
No, I
checks. You
said
the one that
no.
brought
I
it
said
up.
that's what your officers do. They come here lying about a welfare check. Remember the white man called it in, Ron McConnell? Talk to Owens and see what they did, what they always do to me. They justify breaking into my house lying about a welfare check. No, good and well, they just saw me earlier that day and they ambushed me.
Like I said, Owens don't even work with us anymore.
Well, he did me wrong.
Well, I mean, that's why I want a fresh start so we can build that relationship with the police department.
Well, I'm not dressed right now, sir. But I do have a boyfriend that's here all the time.
Oh, your
No,
boyfriend's
I know.
there?
I say he's here all the time. No.
Okay. Well, when would be a good time to come back and talk to you?
What's the day?
How about tomorrow morning?
Okay.
No, sorry about that one, guys. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but we'll check this out here. This one we've already seen. We've already seen that one, yeah.
All right, CPS just came to your door, knocked on it. What are you going to do next? I'm a Texas family law attorney. I used to work for CPS before I became an attorney, and let's talk about what happens when CPS comes to investigate you. Now, CPS knocking at your door does not mean you're guilty, and it happens all the time, and it can happen to completely innocent people as well. In my area, I have a really good relationship with the CPS workers in my area. However, I have experienced CPS in other areas where they kind of have a vendetta. And sometimes the line that CPS crosses is they are there for safety only, not how to make you a better parent, because you have a constitutional right to raise your children how you see fit as long as you're doing it safely. And sometimes CPS gets that confused. Is there safety or is there not? That is the question for CPS. So they're at your door and you're like, what's going on? And I understand it can be confusing, offensive, and really scary. However, I think it's really important that you keep your cool. One of the most important things you can do is get the card of the person who's there. I cannot tell you how frequently people come to talk to me and they can't tell me who was at their door. Get the card of the investigator. They have to give you a card. Typically, they give you a card. Keep up with that. Take a photo of it. Make sure you know who you're talking to. Also, you are able to record conversations. As soon as they start talking, very politely tell them that you are going to be recording all conversations. That way, there's no he said, she said, but also don't be surprised if they record you in return. It's important to keep your cool and not make a scene. And at that point, you need to get an attorney, and you need to get an attorney quick. Oftentimes, when people say, hey, I want to get an attorney, they take weeks to get one. Well, if CPS is there investigating child safety, they don't have weeks to wait. That means if you say you're going to get an attorney, you get an attorney quick. You're on the phone that day making phone calls and getting a consult. You have a right to talk to an attorney, but you don't have a right to delay the investigation saying you're getting an attorney and never get one. There's a lot more ins and outs of what I think you should and should not do, and if you want to talk to me about those, you need to schedule me for a consult. My name is Alicia Walker. I'm a West Texas attorney. I'm barred and licensed in the state of Texas, and I work in family law. Family law includes CPS.
Hi. Hi, how are you? My name is Wisconsin with DCF. Am I being recorded?
Yes, you are.
Why am I being recorded?
We don't have to discuss that. Can I see your badge?
No, you can't take a photo of my badge.
Okay, then you can.
You with my name.
Then you can leave my property. If you're not going to show me who you are and properly identify per your policy, then you have to leave my property, respectfully.
ID?
No, ma'am.
You cannot have a picture of my ID, but I could show it to you.
Okay, go ahead, show it to me.
Yes, but you're recording me.
Okay, can you please have her leave my property?
All right, let's go.
All right, thank you.
That's the way. That's it right there.
What's your name, sir?
Felix.
Thank you for being professional today.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, have a nice day, guys. All right, we got 9-5 Delta Bravo Indigo Yankee. Ma'am, I would advise you to call your supervisor and let her know to contact me and that you were not willing to provide me your identification. Thank you. No, go ahead and call me. You guys have my phone number. I don't need to. That's your responsibility. Have a nice day. Have a wonderful day. Officer, can you trespass her also from my property? Thank you.
That's it,
I'd
people. It's
like
that
the
simple.
case number 2 for the trespass. Thank you so much.
That's it, people. It's that simple. God, I wish I'd have known I could do that. Damn it, I wish I'd have known I could do that.
Do you have her name and information? Okay. I would like that too. Okay, she dropped something on the floor. You dropped your paperwork.
She's trying to play some game without being served or something.
If she comes back, just call us, and it's gonna be in our FIR system that she's trespassed. We're just here to back them up, you know that. So
okay.
I'm just gonna report that she came here and that she wouldn't identify herself, and you asked her to leave. So
yeah, I mean
that's what the reports will.
Yeah, and when I do pull the records for this, I want to see in your report that I was more than willing to cooperate with her, but she failed to identify, which I have the right to know who I'm working with. Yeah.
Not a problem. All that will reflect in that report.
Okay. Have a good day. Take care.
See that, people? It is that simple. It is that freaking simple.
Hi.
All right. We got Chris here. Ooh. Hey, Chris, how are you? Oh, Lord. Hold on a minute. Let me get rid of her. So, Chris, tell us about this story that you're talking about.
Sorry.
I've got to shut the radio.
Good evening, guys. How are you guys?
All right, we good. How are you doing?
So, Darren, I've been sending you. There's a bill right now. It's actually in Congress. I sent you the link to it on Facebook, but what it's called is it's called to protect the right of parents to direct the upbringing of their children as a fundamental right. So basically what we're doing is trying to get our constitutional rights through this bill. There was a similar bill that has been sitting there, and that's still sitting there, but if we can get more people, because we're trying to make this federal, like it's going to go federal, so every state, and the more people that we can get to send it to their state representatives, send it to anybody that they know, even in Congress, somebody in Washington, getting that out there, it's a good one. And we need the support. We have a lot of Republican sponsors so far. We need some Democratic sponsors.
Yeah, you need everybody on board with this. We don't need. It doesn't even matter if they're left, right, up, down, gay, straight, whatever. It just needs to be the fact that we have the right as parents that these children are not possessions of the state.
Right. And this spells it all out. So it's HR 6934.
Where is this? So where does this sit now? Is this just a bill that's been written up? Is this
we were in Springfield, in Illinois at the we had a meeting there. Yep. And there was a lot of representatives, and we presented it to a lot of them then, and that's when we got a lot more people to jump on board with it. And it just needs to be, and I would say don't even try to, it's not even just about representatives.
I'm losing you, Chris.
So I keep getting a phone call. So basically, what we need. So we need even like neighbors. Like so, if you have neighbors that could, you know, go like try to the attention of anybody that you know, because you never know who your neighbor knows, who, you know, and this is something that will spell out exactly what's going on and how we don't have our rights. You know, people that aren't connected with the system and don't have experience with the system, they don't know all of this, and this kind of shows. Obviously, we wouldn't have a bill trying to propose all of this if you know things
Right.
weren't as crooked as they are.
So what do we need to do? We need to get people to get copies of this and then submit it to their family, to their local congressperson or their local state representatives or something.
Yeah, let me go inside my mouth. Local Congress, or even if anybody knows, I know the CPS vigilante, Brittany. I know she had said she knew somebody in that was like pretty much, I don't know, somebody that was within like the like Washington DC. So, you know, the more people that we can get to hear about it and start pushing it, the more of a chance we have of getting this passed.
Absolutely. I have a copy of it, so anybody that wants it can email cpsvhuntingjustice@gmail.com, and we will get that out to you guys so you guys can spread this, because it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks really good, actually.
Yeah,
I've gone over it a couple of
covers a
times.
lot.
I mean, it makes it so that they just can't come and snatch your kid up, and puts out the facts that you have family's rights and responsibilities, and
Yeah,
so
we
on and
have
so forth.
right. Exactly. And that's the best way to describe it. You
It's
know.
pretty awesome.
Say goodnight to my daughter. Hi, Care Bear.
Nothing in this act shall construe to authorize any government to burden the fundamental rights of parents to direct the upbringing, education, and health care of their children. Hey, who put this bill together?
What was that?
Who put this bill together?
Me, Karen, Connie, a bunch of us.
Yeah.
We
No, I
worked
like
on
that.
it.
I'll definitely. Yeah. No, this is good stuff.
But, you know, we were doing a lot of like just state of Illinois stuff, and I was like, you know what, we need to do one that's just federal, because Illinois is probably the worst at wanting to pass anything because they're so Prisker's just against everything. He's with all this corruption. So, you know, we need to get it federally passed, and it's for everyone. You know, these problems are not just in Illinois. These are problems that every state has. And the more recognition we can get it, so even just people, like I said, neighbors, bringing awareness, this will help them understand that as parents, we are stripped of our rights and responsibilities to care for our children. And it's something that most people don't realize unless you deal with the system.
Right.
So
it's awesome. Well, we're gonna pass this out, Chris, for sure.
yeah, I know. I was trying to send it to you before because
no, I get it. This thing is awesome. We're definitely gonna start pushing this, because this is exactly what we need.
yeah, and that's one thing I've been working on is, you know, just making different bills, making different things that I could just, you know, push through and see where it goes, because sometimes you get lucky, you know, and somebody will catch
we
on
gotta
to
throw
it.
anything we can. We gotta throw anything we can at them to protect the rights of the parents and the kids. I mean, it's not just the parents; it's the kids too. You know, like that's what everybody's forgetting, because the kids are really the victims in all of this stuff.
Right. So good news on my end. I don't know if I updated everybody, but so my newborn Giovanna that was not placed with my mom, the new agency is in the works of moving her to my mom.
Oh, good. So
Oh.
in the hand of strangers to back to home.
Yeah, pretty much, because she's pretty much not, the goal for Gia is to return home, and she's not in support of that. She doesn't let us go
Right.
to doctor's appointments. She has her in a toddler bed and she's not even 1. She
Oh
took
my
her
God.
off formula at 10 months old.
Are you talking about the people that have her now?
The foster parent that she's with right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But that's the same foster parent that was granted private guardianship of my twin stepdaughters. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, she's in it to adopt, and she's fostered, like I said, over 50 kids, and
Right. She's in it for the money.
yeah,
It's her job.
yeah, that's what she does for a living. I think her mom
Yeah.
works for CPS, and I don't know, but she's very like church going, and so
No, you can be church going all you want, but your job is to collect
but I
kids.
don't
You know
believe
what I
that she
mean?
really is. You know, I think she uses that as like a
Cover up.
yeah.
Right. Well, you know, a lot of them will do that type of stuff, you know, because like it just gives them more support in their profession, you know.
Right.
That just so that's all it does, you know. Oh, look at her, she's a God-fearing Christian lady. She's this, she's that.
Right. And
In
then
reality, all she's doing is collecting checks.
right. But and you know, one thing people need to know is, so if your kids are with a foster parent, there are rules. I was able to find the Illinois foster parent rule book, and that they have to follow. And if I mean, and most of the time they don't follow those rules, and that is something to bring awareness to the caseworker, to
We were
the
just
court,
talking about
to
this. My wife and I were just talking about this. How foster parents are getting off the hook with all of this stuff. You know, like why aren't they being drug tested? Why aren't they put under the same scrutiny that we are as parents? They're not. They're just allowing these children to go to these foster homes, and just because they say, "Oh, it's okay," like what the hell is that? Just because they say it's okay, you know, like what scrutiny did they get put under? What did they not? You know, like most chances are, I know with our child, when the first person that they sent her with, they just screened her them 2 hours prior to taking her from us and putting them in their care.
Yeah.
2 hours before. So how much screening is that's really done? And then
Yeah,
to
I
find
know.
out that they were put into a home, she was put into a home where the parents, the kids that were living there, witnessed their parents being murdered, you know, by the mother, and just like so on. They burnt the house down. Like she was just introduced into an environment which we kept her from. You know, but in the twist of a moment, she was brought and put right into what we feared the most. You know, these people don't vet these people the way that they should be being vetted. And you're right, foster parents are supposed to follow a set of rules, like supporting reunification with the parent is supposed to be one of them.
Yes, and
And
when
they
they're
don't do
not,
that
a
at all.
judge usually takes that one, you know, the most serious. So if the goal is still return home, they are supposed to be, you know, pushing for that and helping with that. And, you
Right.
know, instead of not allowing you to have visits with your child, not
Yep.
allowing you to,
Talk to them. Yep.
and
Yep.
that's not okay. So if the judge still has the goal of
No.
return home, they will consider that as evidence that, you know, if you could prove that, like, you can't talk to them, like with the twins, we both got them birthday gifts, she didn't give them to
Right.
them.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's just, I mean, I'm grateful we have a new agency, like I said, Guardian Angels, and they're very transparent. They're much different than One Hope United, but that's a whole
Now
nother story.
they're the ones that took the place of the CPS.
So, in Illinois, 80% of the cases are dealt with purchase of service agencies, that are contracted out. So they're contracted through DCFS or CPS. And, you know, I was just reading the OIG report, and it still shows that these POS agencies are not getting, like, the proper background checks. They're not getting, like, they're not like submitting like all their stuff like they're supposed to. They're hiring on service providers that are not qualified, which that happened to me. And I'm filing lawsuits. I mean,
Hell
now
yeah.
that they're gone, I did a discrimination lawsuit. I have an investigation going on with the lady that said she was a parent coach, marriage counselor, and family therapist. So yeah, I mean, once, now that they're out of my life, I can do that. I wouldn't do it when obviously they were my caseworker or,
Right.
just because you don't want retaliation, but
Right. Which does happen, which is the truth. It does happen. It does
oh
take
yeah,
place.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I was definitely retaliated against after um after saying something about them bringing my kids to me without a car seat, and yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's half the time too. They come and pick up your kids. They don't have car seats. They don't have anything that they're supposed to have, and then they want you to give it to them. Like, what the hell is
right.
that?
Well, they didn't even ask me to give it to them. Like, my son literally went to just buckle himself in when he was like 2 years old. My daughter was like 8 months old, and there was no car seats whatsoever, and they had already been driven to me. So this was when they were leaving to go home. And I was like, "Do you need a car seat for my son?" And then she's like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great if you have one." And I'm like, "Yeah, I have one. I'm a mom. Like, what?" And then I saw
Right.
my daughter, and I'm like, "You don't even have one for Kiara?" I'm like, "Would you like one for Kiara too?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great if you have one." And then she put the car seat in wrong. She put it in forward facing.
Yeah.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But this is the people. These are the people that are employed to take care of the safety and the wellness of our children.
Yeah. One that would be a DCFS case itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
It's ridiculous. It's
right,
absolutely asinine.
Yeah. But I do feel like there's a lot, happening right now, and there's going to be a lot of changes coming.
I know it just doesn't seem like it's fast enough.
It's never fast enough, but I'm hopeful. I do feel like we're getting leeway, we're getting more attention, we're, spreading awareness of what's going on, especially with all this P. Diddy stuff, all these other
Yeah.
cases that have gone on. It has brought, and the migrants, it's brought attention to it. So we have to just keep pushing and showing that it's not just migrants. It's not just, that it
Right.
is,
It's
foster
us, everyday
care.
Americans. Right. It's us, everyday Americans, that are really getting the brunt of all this stuff. I understand that there's there's the numbers show, but the numbers also show on our side. They're just not showing the numbers.
Mhm.
That's the thing here. So,
And the thing with them is so when they are trafficked, they consider them runaways. And like, I think I told you the story, how they said it was a 6-month-old like baby, they said ran away.
yes, it just got up on two legs and took off.
Yeah. And they're told not to report to the police.
Right. We read a study on that, and if they do report it, it takes like 2 to 3 weeks before they'll actually put a report in saying that one of these kids are missing.
Yeah, if they even do. A
Right.
lot of times they won't. So it just depends on, I guess, who you talk to with law enforcement wise, but I know this is all, it gets, everything I read just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's almost like you got to keep yourself from going down that rabbit hole, because there's so much bad in this. And it's like, I won't stop. Like, even if my kids get returned home, I will not stop. This is going to be
What do you mean,
what I
whoa, not even if, it's maybe when your kids are returned home. No, even if, when kids get returned home.
Right. And I won't stop. This is about all of the kids, all of the families. And I will, if I have to be the next Nancy Shaper, I will. I'm not afraid to do that. And that's why I'm, back in law, like doing law and whatnot, so I can get connected with politics and in that, so I can, have more, I guess they could take me more seriously.
Right. No, it's tough. I mean, it's hard. I mean, because you can see the writing on the wall and it's so easy, but there's just so much. Like, I'm in law school also, and it's just, you see so much that it's just right there in front of you, and for some reason they don't take you as a realist or as anything. And, like, just until you can get that degree, I guess that's when they'll take you more serious. I don't know, whatever, but like we all have studied this stuff so much that we know, if not more than what these lawyers that are fighting for us supposedly know.
We absolutely do.
Maybe
And
it's
look, I
just
mean, I had originally went to school for law and for family law, and then I just didn't pursue anything with it. And so now it just gave me, that fire to go back, and
Yeah.
now I know exactly where I want to be with it. So,
Right. No,
but
that's
yeah,
good
so
stuff,
if
Chris.
everybody can look into that and try to get that spread out there, I think we can make a difference with that one.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I
If
like
you
that a
know
real lot.
Connie, I know you had Connie on the show. If you know Connie,
Yeah, I know Connie really well. Yep.
she's behind it.
Yep.
So she's
Love
pushing
Connie
for it.
here.
I
Yep.
would love to have her back on the show too. And
Yeah,
there's
I love Connie
also a
here.
girl, Bailey. She has a great story and she's very knowledgeable, and I would love to have her on the show one day.
Yeah, well, let's set that up. Let's get her on here.
Yeah, she's actually in the middle of a lawsuit right now because her child was returned home, but they performed a surgery on her son that left him paralyzed.
Oh my gosh, really? That's awful. What? And she was not in custody?
Yeah, when he was not in her custody.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so
Jesus.
she's suing. Yeah. So it's, she's got one hell of a story. But they are looking into so the moms that are having their kids taken from them at birth after delivery, they are looking into that. That is something that is being investigated right now. And there's a lot of awareness brought to that. And there's supposed to be a lot of changes coming with that.
Oh, good. That's
So
real
that's
good. I mean, they're doing.
that I heard.
Yeah, I mean, they're just doing so much disgusting stuff in there that people aren't aware of. And it's time that we just, it's time that we just start making this shit come to light and people start recognizing that this is real, that this is going on. And, that's just, that's just it. Like that's
Even
what
if
we
you
gotta
go
do.
to your state, like in Springfield, the state capitol and stuff like that, when they have committee hearings and whatnot, and just you meet random representatives, and you get a chance to talk to them, and that's all it takes sometimes. And some are willing to hear you and some aren't. Some will treat you like they don't give a shit what you have to say. But some of them are not like that.
Right.
And that's really, you can also call them. You don't even have to go see them in person. You can call them. You can write them emails. Like I've been sending every senator that I know or representative I know, emails with this bill that I just sent you. And asking them to, describing it in my own words, and then saying if they would like a meeting with me, I'd be more than willing to meet with them, discuss it with them, and talk to them about why it's so important.
Right.
So
I agree.
It does take some work, but if we all do it,
Right, and everybody's been doing this for so long that this is great that it's coming to that it's coming to that point now where all this hard work from everybody is paying off. It's starting to come to a head. So I mean, I hate to say this, but it's unfortunate for so many that have had to wait for so long. But those of you that are just getting involved in the system, thankfully, this is at a point now where things are going to start moving fastly. So hopefully, if they did just recently get you involved in this, that it's not going to be as long as it's been with some of us.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
3 years. Ugh.
Yeah, right. It sucks,
you feel like you've missed, you almost lose your identity. That's how you feel like.
You
I've
do,
lost my identity as
absolutely.
a man.
Yep. You absolutely do.
And then
Period.
the
It's not
trauma that
even,
these kids have, and then you think about like, are they going to be re-traumatized if they get returned home? And it's, you know, it's
right,
something that is a battle in your mind, and you
right,
know, because you're always thinking of the best for them. You know, being home is best for them, but it's like, is it going to re-traumatize them? Are they, that's what's been going through my
right,
head lately, and making sure that I'm prepared for, being able to help them with that trauma and get through that.
right.
And so, because they're young, they're young kids and they don't really know, but I
Yep,
don't want them to have abandonment issues and, ever to think
right,
mommy wasn't trying.
right. Well, there's a great study out there done by the University of Baltimore. It's called uh, the oh my God, brain cramp here. The harm of removal is what it's called.
Yes.
And it's a really great study, and it shows, it breaks down all of the stuff that happens to a child and to the parents when they go through, the removing of a child. And it's pretty. I can't even believe that they even allow children to be taken anymore. After you look at what these studies have come up with and what they've come across and said and so on. I mean, it's just ridiculous to think for just a moment that it's okay to
And
do this anymore.
the Nicholson versus Scarpetta, the reason I brought that up, I know that case so well because that's what happened to me. I was the victim of domestic violence. And like, all I kept thinking about was, why, if this case has been known and, it was in out of New York. So, but,
Yep.
judges make their own rules and their own laws. So it really just depends
Yeah.
on how you present it and how much you fight it. And if the
Right. And the
agency's
first thing
not
is being
doing,
confident.
yeah, but
You got to be confident.
and you honestly, if the agency that you have, or the worker that you have is not, they're not all bad, I will say that. So you can always ask for a change, and more, just
Yep.
make sure you have a good, good evidence to back why, if there's bias, if there's anything going on there, or like if they're not fulfilling their duties, like with providing services or even court ordered services.
Yep.
Visits are very important. So, you just have to have the evidence showing that they haven't done that. And you have a good chance of the judge actually allowing you to get a change in your worker. Might take some
Yep.
time, but
Hey, you know what? When you're dealing with this stuff, that's all you got is time. You just got time. That's it.
right. Right. And the more you
So,
educate yourself on everything, and I like to look at what other states are doing and like the things that other states are implementing and the changes that they're making, because there's some states that are way further, advanced than say Maine, Illinois,
yeah.
and but
Yeah.
and then
They
there's
all
also,
went through.
yes. So there's also different rules and regulations for the different agencies in Illinois. And that's one thing that I just found out. So I went and I got copies of all the different agency rules, and I'm comparing them to see the ones that actually seem to have good outcomes compared to the
Yep.
ones that, don't.
Right.
And like,
Absolutely.
that's another way, to present it to the legislators, to, important people. And
Right. And eventually, something's got to work.
yeah, you gotta try it all. That's all you can
Right.
do.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Like until we can figure out what sticks, what doesn't, and what they're going to say is worthy and what's not. It's just like we got to just keep on doing and pounding away at this stuff. That's all we can do. And that's eventually it has to work. Something has to, because they can't just keep shutting us out forever.
They can't. And there's so many of us now that, because I feel like a lot of us are just we've had enough, and we're not
Yep.
afraid to voice it anymore, and we are going to
Right.
voice it. And that's what they wanted. They wanted us to be so scared that we wouldn't voice what's going on, and actually, you know,
But
now
right
we
now you
are,
did do
and
it.
we have to do
Right.
it. That's they may try to put a gag order on you, but you know, it's you could fight that too. They can't put a gag order on
Yeah.
you forever.
No, they certainly can't. They absolutely cannot. But we'll keep fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. You know,
And
and
hopefully, with Trump in office,
yeah,
there's going to be more
damn
of
right.
it. I think
Yep.
if anybody's going to do it, I think he'll
Well,
push with it.
yeah. Well, I mean, we got to pray for him. That's all we can do. You know,
Yeah,
that's all we can do. But
he's got a lot on his plate, but
yeah. But you know what? He wants to do this, so we got to hope to God that he does do
yes,
it.
yeah.
But
And he's got a good
Chris,
team.
we're at our last points here. You want to do? You want to join me with the last words?
Sure, you want to start or you want me to?
No, you go right ahead.
Okay, so my last words would be just educate yourself and, you know, push forward, pay attention to these bills that are coming out and, you know, do what you can to get them, you know, known, and don't stop. Don't give up. Keep trying every avenue. Just one avenue, not just, there's not just one thing that's going to work. It's going to take a bunch of little things in different ways to do it. That's finally going to make a difference. And we all need to come together and do it. So just
Oh yeah.
keep being open about
with,
everything that's going on. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be embarrassed by it. You know, we are victims. It's not anything that we
right.
should be ashamed of.
I'm with you on that one. Absolutely. I'm agreeing on this one. I'm going to say check out House Bill HR 6934. Let's start showing our support for that, people, and let's get it out there because it looks like it's some good stuff. So that being said, I'm the CPS Punisher, and we are out of here, guys. Have a good night. After I turn this volume up.
Mommy's right here. I got you, baby. I'm not hurting you. I'm supporting my daughter because this is going to court. I love you, baby.
Greetings, world. We are anonymous. Families are being destroyed. Children are being emotionally torn apart. In the United States, this all began when President Bill Clinton signed the Adoption and Safe Families Act of 1997. Since then, taking children from their loving parents has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Children are now seen as walking, breathing bags of money for corrupt state governments all over the United States. The US government incentivizes the kidnapping of children by providing lump sums of cash from federal funding to the states.
Going to CPS, trying to work everything out with them, thinking my son might be adopted.
Our children are the most precious people in our lives. We must protect them. In many cases, children are taken from their loving parents for the smallest of reasons, such as eating too much fruit or smoking a joint in their own home.
Child Protective Services, CPS, has all been known for massive corruption, the falsifying of documents, statements, and the list goes on.
Now, state police issued an Amber Alert for the pair on Monday after she failed to turn her son over to CYFD. On Tuesday, Bryant went on Facebook claiming she's the victim of CPS corruption.
This is a legal, human trafficking mafia with unlimited power and absolutely no accountability.
You want that juice, Mama? You want to take your juice? You want to drink a little bit right now? No.
Let her hold her since she seems to be kind of the calmest right now.
Okay. This is a call to all, remove your fear, and put on your masks. Find all of the CPS groups on social media platforms, get involved, do extensive research. Arm yourself with information. If you live in fear of the CPS mafia, then remove your fear, join with others and fight back. We will push to change the system, as long as the CPS uses corrupted methods to destroy our lives.
The Department of Child Protective Services has become a protected empire, built on taking children and separating families.
This is Nancy Schaefer. She gave up her career, and later her life, for the fight against CPS. The details of her murder are very suspicious, and many believe that she was murdered by the CPS, for her heroic deeds. Please research her.
This is not to say that there are not those children who do need to be removed from wretched situations and need protection. However, my report is concerned with the children and parents caught up in legal kidnapping. Having worked with probably 300 cases statewide and hundreds across the country, and in nearly every state, I am convinced there is no accountability. There is no accountability. There is no accountability in Child Protective Services.
CPS is well known for massive corruption and criminal acts.
Assault, burglary, DWI, theft, domestic violence, indecent exposure, prostitution, possession of cocaine and marijuana, and selling alcohol to minors. What do all of these crimes have in common? They are just some of the crimes committed by people who work for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. That's right, the agency in charge of protecting Texas children. We found more than 370 employees have a criminal background. Some have direct contact with foster kids. David Mendoza pled guilty to assault with bodily injury to a family member and violating a protective order. He's a CPS supervisor in El Paso. Richard Landon was arrested for indecent exposure in 1997, and in 1994 he was arrested for prostitution after soliciting an undercover cop. He also works for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services.
Look at that baby. Look how beautiful that baby is. They'll get hundreds of thousands of federal funds, especially if they put it on a couple psychotropic drugs, and then they'll adopt it out to somebody.
We call all to join together and stop this mafia. Child Protective Services, also known as CPS. CPS custody is one of the most dangerous places for a child. Many children are abused and sometimes even killed.
If somebody hurts my son, I'm filing a lawsuit.
CPS, Child Protective Services, we are waking up to your corruption involved with children, and we will expose you. We are anonymous, we are legion, we do not forgive, and we never forget. CPS, expect us.